Let me ask you something. Have you ever studied English for hours, learned many words, practiced grammar, and still felt frozen when it was time to speak? This topic matters because fear and anxiety quietly stop so many people from improving, not only in English, but in life. You may think the problem is your level, your accent, or your memory, but very often, the real problem is fear inside your body. By listening to this episode until the end, you will not only practice calm, natural English listening, you will also learn how fear works, why it feels so strong, and how to work with it instead of fighting it. You will learn how to calm your body, shift your mindset, and move from panic to curiosity. This is not just an English lesson. This is a life lesson about confidence, growth, and learning to move forward, even when your hands feel a little shaky. And if this lesson gave you something useful, I'd love it if you tapped like and subscribe to the channel. It helps you stay connected, and it also helps this little learning community grow. Every click really does make a difference. With love, let's dive in. Why does fear appear even when nothing dangerous is happening? Fear often feels confusing because your mind knows you are safe, but your body reacts as if you are in danger. This happens because of a small, ancient part of the brain that is designed to protect you. Long ago, it helped humans survive real threats like wild animals or physical danger. Today, however, this part of the brain sometimes makes mistakes. It can see social situations, like speaking English or making a mistake, as if they are physical threats. Your heart beats faster, your muscles tighten, and your mind goes blank. This reaction is automatic, not a personal failure. Understanding this can be very calming. It means fear is not proof that you are weak or unprepared. It is simply your brain trying to protect you in an old way. When you understand this, you can stop blaming yourself and start responding with patience and clarity. What happens in your body when anxiety takes control? When anxiety appears, your body quickly enters a state of alert. Your breathing becomes shallow, your shoulders rise, and your thoughts start racing. This makes it very hard to remember words or speak clearly. The brain shifts its energy away from learning and communication and focuses only on survival. That is why you may suddenly forget simple English that you know very well. This reaction can feel frustrating and even embarrassing, but it is important to see it clearly. Nothing is wrong with your intelligence or effort. Your nervous system is simply activated. Once you understand this, the goal is no longer to force yourself to speak perfectly. The goal becomes calming your body first. When the body feels safer, the mind naturally becomes clearer. Learning this changes everything because it gives you control over the situation instead of fear controlling you. How can reframing fear change the way you experience it? Fear feels powerful when you see it as an enemy. When you try to fight it, push it away, or judge yourself for feeling it, fear often becomes stronger. A helpful shift is to see fear as information instead of danger. When your heart races or your voice shakes, your body is sending data, not warnings of failure. It is saying, "This matters to you." Reframing fear in this way softens its power. Instead of thinking, "Something is wrong with me," you can think, "My body is activated because I care." This small change creates space for curiosity. You can observe the feeling without panic. Over time, this practice teaches your brain that speaking or learning is not dangerous. Fear slowly changes its role. It stops blocking your progress and starts guiding you toward areas where growth is possible and meaningful. Why does controlled breathing help calm anxiety so effectively? Breathing is one of the fastest ways to communicate safety to your nervous system. When you feel anxious, your breath becomes quick and shallow, which tells your brain to stay alert. By slowing your breath, you send the opposite message. Controlled breathing does not mean forcing deep breaths aggressively. It means gentle, steady breathing that feels natural. When you breathe slowly through your nose and allow your stomach to move, your body begins to relax. Your heart rate slows, your muscles soften, and your thoughts become less sharp and rushed. This creates the right internal environment for learning and speaking. You do not need special tools or perfect conditions. You can practice this while listening, speaking, or even waiting to respond. Over time, your body learns that English practice is safe, calm, and manageable. How does simple movement help release fear from the body? Fear is not only in the mind, it lives in the body as tension and stored energy. When you stay completely still while anxious, that energy has nowhere to go. Gentle movement helps release it. This does not mean intense exercise. Small actions like stretching your shoulders, relaxing your hands, or slowly shifting your posture can make a big difference. Movement reminds your body that it is free and safe. It also brings your attention back to the present moment, instead of anxious thoughts. Many learners notice that after moving a little, their voice feels more natural and their mind feels clearer. This is because movement helps regulate the nervous system. When your body feels balanced, learning feels lighter. You are no longer trapped inside fear. You are actively participating in calming yourself, which builds confidence and self-trust over time. Why does naming your emotions reduce their intensity? Strong emotions often feel overwhelming because they are unclear. When everything feels like one big wave of fear, the mind panics. Naming your emotions brings clarity. Instead of saying, "I feel terrible," you can say, "I feel nervous," or "I feel pressure," or "I feel afraid of making mistakes." This simple act engages a more thoughtful part of the brain and reduces emotional intensity. You are no longer lost inside the feeling. You are observing it. This helps you respond instead of react. For language learners, this is very powerful. When you label what you feel before speaking, your body relaxes slightly. You become more present and grounded. Over time, this habit teaches you emotional awareness, which is useful far beyond English learning. It helps you navigate challenges with calmness and clarity. How can small victories rebuild confidence step by step? Confidence does not appear suddenly. It is built slowly through repeated small successes. When fear is strong, large goals can feel overwhelming. That is why stacking small victories is so effective. A small victory might be finishing a listening exercise calmly, speaking one sentence clearly, or staying present even when your voice shakes. Each small success sends a message to your brain that you can handle the situation. These messages add up over time. Instead of waiting to feel confident before acting, you act gently and allow confidence to grow naturally. This approach reduces pressure and increases consistency. Progress becomes something you experience daily, not something you wait for in the future. For learners, this creates a steady sense of improvement that feels encouraging rather than stressful. Why does curiosity weaken fear more than force? Fear grows stronger when you try to control or suppress it. Curiosity, however, softens fear. When you become curious about your experience, fear loses its sharp edge. You might notice how your breath feels, how your voice sounds, or how your body reacts when you speak. Instead of judging these sensations, you simply observe them. Curiosity creates distance between you and fear. It turns the experience into something you can explore instead of something you must escape. This mindset is especially helpful for learning. When you are curious, mistakes become information, not proof of failure. Your brain stays open and flexible. Over time, curiosity trains your nervous system to stay calm in situations that once felt threatening. This shift makes learning more enjoyable and sustainable. How does fear become a signal for growth opportunities? Fear often appears right before growth. When you step outside your comfort zone, your body reacts because the situation is new and uncertain. Instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, you can see it as a signal. It shows you where learning is happening. This perspective changes the meaning of discomfort. Feeling nervous does not mean you should stop. It means you are stretching your abilities. When you understand this, fear becomes less personal. It is no longer a judgment about your skill. It is simply part of the learning process. For English learners, this realization is freeing. You stop waiting for fear to disappear and start moving forward with it. Each time you do, your comfort zone expands, and confidence grows quietly in the background. Why does acceptance calm the nervous system faster than resistance? When fear appears and you resist it, your body interprets resistance as danger. Tension increases, and anxiety stays longer. Acceptance works differently. Accepting fear does not mean liking it or giving up. It means allowing the feeling to exist without fighting it. When you say internally, "This feeling is here and I am safe," your nervous system begins to relax. Acceptance reduces internal conflict. Your energy is no longer split between learning and fighting your emotions. This creates mental space and emotional balance. Many learners are surprised to find that fear fades faster when they stop struggling with it. Acceptance teaches your brain that emotions are temporary and manageable. Over time, this builds emotional resilience and makes challenging situations feel less overwhelming. How can consistent practice retrain your fear response? The brain learns through repetition. When you repeatedly practice English in a calm and supportive way, your brain updates its expectations. Situations that once triggered fear slowly feel more familiar. Consistency is more important than intensity. Short, regular practice sessions teach your nervous system that learning is safe. Each calm experience weakens the old fear pattern and strengthens a new one. This is why daily listening and gentle speaking practice are so effective. You are not just learning words and sounds. You are training your emotional response. Over time, your body stops reacting as strongly. Speaking becomes more natural, and anxiety loses its control. This process takes patience, but it works. Small, steady actions create deep, lasting change. Why do mistakes feel scary but help confidence grow? Mistakes often trigger fear because they feel like exposure. Your brain worries about judgment or failure. However, mistakes are one of the strongest teachers. Each mistake gives you clear feedback about what to improve. When you respond to mistakes with calmness instead of criticism, your confidence grows. You learn that mistakes do not cause harm. They are simply part of learning. This understanding reduces fear over time. You stop trying to be perfect and start focusing on progress. For language learners, this shift is essential. Fluency is built through many imperfect attempts. When you allow mistakes, you give yourself permission to grow. Confidence becomes based on resilience, not perfection. How does emotional awareness support long-term improvement? Emotional awareness means noticing how you feel without being controlled by those feelings. This skill supports long-term improvement because it helps you manage challenges calmly. When you are aware of your emotional state, you can adjust your approach. You might slow down, take a breath, or change your focus. This prevents burnout and frustration. Emotional awareness also builds self-trust. You learn that you can handle discomfort and keep moving forward. For learners, this creates a healthy relationship with progress. Improvement becomes steady and sustainable instead of stressful. Over time, emotional awareness turns learning into a supportive experience. You are no longer fighting yourself. You are working with your mind and body as a team. What changes when you see fear as a mentor instead of an enemy? When you stop seeing fear as something to defeat and start seeing it as a guide, everything shifts. Fear shows you where growth is waiting. It highlights moments that matter. Instead of avoiding these moments, you approach them with care and curiosity. This mindset builds deep confidence, not just in English, but in life. You learn that you can feel fear and still move forward. You become more patient with yourself and more open to learning. Over time, fear loses its power to stop you. It becomes a quiet signal that you are becoming stronger. This is the true lesson of this topic. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to listen to fear, learn from it, and continue growing anyway. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. Your support means so much. It keeps this space alive and growing. With love. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you.